Hello, people of the world watching internet videos that have to do with car restorations. Welcome to this. My 1990 Honda CRX SI, which I am restoring because it was the original first car I had in high school. And it'll soon be powered by none other than an SIR2 spec B16A engine. If you're new here or you missed out on the previous video, I just finished wrapping up painting the engine bay for the second time, and I now have to hustle because this has a scheduled date to be in a paint booth that I cannot miss.
行為29最終車両検査
This now makes the 29th video in this restoration series, and at least 20 of these videos has been nothing but restoring the body to look like it did when this car was brand new.
That's a good feeling right there. I think that's gonna look nice. Oh yeah. Carbon fiber, looking like sheet metal.
Unless you've watched these videos, no one will ever know that these front fenders are carbon fiber.
One of the things that stands out the most to me when you have a car refinished is maintaining crisp body lines. Cheap paint jobs, they get all muddy and just kind of disappear because it's difficult to just barely tape off that line and make sure it stays fresh. And I'm gonna do that by kind of tracing out the natural line here with my little soft pad. This is not gonna be easy. I don't know if any of you watching this right now have ever watched one of those YouTube channels where they go to overgrown lawns and mow them and make them look really neat and trim the trees. This is like that, but for robots. Can't have any shinies, just like you can't have whammies. See that? All those little dots right there? Those just need to get feathered, just enough to mute those little highs and lows, but not enough to round out and kill my body line.
While keeping the body lines nice and crisp is a good thing, you can take this a bit too far if you don't apply the tape lines perfect to where the body lines are, and you can end up making things look worse. So don't do this while you're drunk.
Yeah, that'll do. Nervousing, nervousing. Please let this just look good. Nervousing, nervousing. I really don't want to fuck this up. In case you didn't catch the reference, that was the worst spot on the entire car, bodywork wise, that I had to repair. I'm purposely using a kind of dull disc. I don't want to change it out, just because I want to dial this in gently. Oh, it's thundering. I can hear that over this thing. El Nino is Spanish for the Nino.
The Nino!
I don't always do bad impersonations,
Oh yeah.
but when I come up with them, I'm doing them while living in a van down by the river.
Oh, this is really hard not to burn through.
Now when it comes to burning through, that's in reference to sanding through this black primer to the gray epoxy primer that's underneath. It's really irrelevant in the grand scheme of things because this car is going to get sealer before the base and clear, but I'm just OCD like that.
600 grit is like borderline polishing. It gives a sheen to this. It's really hard for me to capture this on camera because you're also looking at all this junk in my shop that's reflecting off of it and making it look like there's imperfections, but you can see everything. I would say that's OEM level.
Little areas like this are very hard to do with a big DA.
Have you ever done something so many times over and over again that you end up dreaming about it because it's just baked into your brain? That's gonna happen with this. Oh man, it doesn't stick. Ah, I'm out of tape.
The secret to this is I layer up the tape thick enough that it pushes the sander away from where the actual body line is, so then when I peel it back off again, it puts me a little bit further away from the actual body line. That way I can blend it by hand nicely.
If you've been following this build since the beginning, you would know that I have a carbon fiber hood for it, which I will be installing with exposed carbon fiber, unlike the fenders, which are carbon fiber, but I'm painting body color. However, something that bothers me is when people just take a carbon fiber part, even if it's a good quality one, and stick it right on the vehicle without giving it a proper automotive clear coat like you have on the paint. Realistically, I should probably do this in like 800 grit. Compared to the bodywork on the car, I mean, this has got some waves and imperfections to it, but it's carbon fiber, like obviously you can't bodywork it.
There's an old bodyworking saying that says paint is not body filler, but I say there's an exception to this rule, and that is with clear coat on naked carbon fiber.
Okay, I'm pretty good at getting close to the edge with the DA, but I don't want to burn anything over here. Wow. That flattened out all the little ripples I was talking about completely. Some of you might have noticed that this has the ZC bump on the hood, And yes, I know I'm putting a B series in it, not a dual cam D16 ZC engine. That's because I think this is a better looking hood than what comes on the SIR CRXs. I like the look of it. So I'm building the CRX the way I would have built it in the year 2001. It's like a hot dog for robots. Why is everything for robots?
As I continue to rub the robot hot dog into the carbon fiber hood,
Kind of excited to see this.
it feels smoother. I don't know if that's a placebo effect.
I don't even know if that's the right term. Oh yeah, that is smoother. Yeah, man. Yeah, it absolutely. If you buy carbon fiber body panels for your car and you're keeping them raw carbon fiber, you have to do this. It's drying before I can get it over here, but one more wipe because you got to see this. It's kind of still hard to see. It's drying in spots, so it doesn't really look like it. Almost ready to go in a paint booth. I keep saying that. Eventually I won't have to say that anymore. Eventually it'll just be painted. It is the following day and a wild Kylie has appeared. Oh, I love that when the tape just does its own thing. What did you do to the penguin? Is it helping?
Yeah.
So at this current point, I have approximately 4 working days left until this thing needs to be in a paint booth. And it has to be done in time. I can't delay for any reason.
As many of you are aware, the fine balance between efficiency and quality results in stress and gray hairs.
Man, that was stressful. Kylie made a bit of an unfortunate discovery of something I completely forgot about, but many videos back when I dry ice blasted the interior of this car, I discovered there was clear coat overspray all over the inside of the passenger door card. Doesn't this look like a baby octopus without tentacles?
It looks like a don't push.
As you can see, it's coming off rather scaly, and with a Scotch pad that will take years and still burn through in spots. I'm in a NASA suit and Kylie's over here raw dogging it. Managed to get all that crinkled nonsense off, but there's a bunch of burn through spots to bare metal, which I'm gonna use a catalyzed 2K can version just to get those little tiny spots on the inside of the door.
Meanwhile, an example of how bodywork results in mild psychosis.
I used to wonder what dirt could taste like, my little piglet.
Because the driver's side door trim had been removed at one point and replaced with double bubble, got that content like chicken tenders.
Are you okay? I shouldn't be standing here.
And now the remnants are my problem, our problem. I make shapes.
It's snowing!
It's snowing death. Ew, it's coming out like earwax. This is insane how gooey and sticky this stuff is. This is like cleaning very disgusting ears. I'm not doing the entire back of the door because when I assemble the guts in here, I'm literally gonna glue a plastic barrier to it. We don't have to tape a lot of stuff off. Lay it over the car like that. This is like $30 something for a can, and I'm gonna use like 2% of it and throw the rest in the trash. It's kind of sad. Pull this out.
The thought process is this will eliminate overspray. A thought process is not a guarantee.
Now, wanna get me a little acid paintbrush?
Generally, you don't have to worry about tiny burn-throughs, but I might as well while I'm at it.
Da-da-da-da-da. It doesn't look pretty, but it's not supposed to. It's literally just purposed to seal off the bare metal since it's a 2K epoxy, and then it'll go over it with the black sealer before paint. Eek. Now that this is essentially 98% sanded and ready for the paint booth, it has to be able to get into the paint booth. I have all of my freshly powder coated suspension and subframe pieces, but I don't want to take the chance of getting overspray on them. So I don't want overspray on any of the new stuff, but I also don't want overspray in here. So I don't know if I'm just creating more work by putting the old suspension back on. This is the original stuff from the car since I have all Integra Type R suspension for it now. Slight problem with my plan of just bolting on the original stuff. I started pulling some of the bushings out of them before I just decided to use the Integra Type R stuff. The whole purpose of using the old stuff is to save time on just quickly assembling it so the car is rollable into a paint booth. However, that's not going to be quick. And do I really want to spend all that time assembling old stuff to only have to spend it again to assemble new stuff when I could just mask off the new stuff? I initially had planned to do a complete suspension video on this car, but sometimes things in life don't work out the way you want them to. So I have all brand new bushings for it. None of this stuff is sponsored. They're very expensive, but I wanted good stuff. They're rubber just like OEM rather than urethane that gets squeaky, but they're hardened rubber. CRX arm, Integra Type R arm. They're literally identical. They're the same because this is the early ITR, the 4 on 114.3. What you are doing right now is very appealing. Kylie's over here trying to give herself a hernia.
A herpy?
I don't want to scratch this stuff. One of these is got like a little camber lobe almost, so they're not exactly the same. I'm gonna mark it just like from the factory, 90-degree orientation, just like that. Heavy D in the boys. This should hopefully go in easy. Sweet. Probably like that. I tell you what, that is gonna be satisfying when I get to do all of the suspension pieces. That new hardened rubber, super rigid. This is just to give you a little taste of what's to come after this thing is painted. Installing all these freshly restored OEM or OEM Plus upgraded parts. I know this seems ridiculous, but I have to take it back apart again to put the freshly powder coated stuff, and then it's gonna scratch it all up, and I just spent all that money to have it resin coated. So this goes to this side. Oh, good thing this is not heavy. Sarcasm. Well, the new bushing is tight. Let's throw the old shocks on here for now. These are the original Honda shocks. I forgot about that. You know, it's not like I'm gonna be driving this car. It's literally gotta roll onto a car trailer and off of a car trailer. I don't need actual suspension. I don't want to use the good hardware yet.
Thankfully, because I have 2 rear ends, I have duplicates of all the hardware.
That should get it to where it needs to go. Brake rotors? You don't need brake rotors where we're going. Good enough. I don't need this anymore. Hey, now the front.
You ready to be queefed up?
Bequeath me some wheels. There's no quick way for me to throw stuff together on the front because I have to do new wheel bearings and the hub situation with the bigger Civic Type R brakes. That's a huge project. So that was loud.
Solving complex theoretical math equations in your mind sometimes can be time consuming, but for those observing from the outside, it looks like you're a broken human.
Oh my god. Are you okay? What's going on?
I'm thinking. Leave me alone. I'm trying to think of how to do it.
That was such a long pause. I was like,
I'm trying to think of how I can do this. This should look pretty good. 800 grit. That is going to be my secret to making this carbon fiber hood look like it's an OEM piece. Oh shit. Good thing this thing is made out of carbon fiber and is light. That right there is it. That was the last bit of sanding, last bit of bodywork, last bit of everything other than cleaning and taping before this car gets its final paint job. The edges on this fender came out good. I had to straighten them because they were a little wonky from the factory, but that looks good now. Now, dash fingerprint. Luckily, this is only getting clearer, so the mask job on the backside is just to keep things neat and uniform. Pull it super tight. That is now ready for the paint loose, 100%. This is what I got.
A wild engineer cobbler has appeared.
Do you think that should be plenty of sport nose this car?
Yeah, it doesn't really fit. You have a chop saw or a sawzall or something?
Pivots.
Okay, well, what are you going to attach that to? You're just going to weld this between them? This is not going to bend.
My biggest fear was just that if it's not sturdily mounted, if this rolls into like a dip, like a crack or something, or loading on and off a trailer, that it would just bend the whole thing, the car would nosedive.
It would have to like fall into a hole.
I know what you're probably thinking right now watching this and wondering why on earth I did not do this from the very get-go instead of putting the car on sketchy moving dollies. I mean, I thought it would work and it got the job done.
I mean, I could have bolted wheels to that, I guess, but I don't want to mess this thing up. How close were you?
Dead on. That'll do.
Sick.
We just need your drill press and your Skookum drill bit.
I'm really afraid it'll bottom out right there, so I don't know.
Stop.
Right there?
On the caster.
Oh, that's fine. That's perfect, huh? You think I only need one bolt hole then, and it should be fine?
Yeah, these are the ones. These hold the whole front of the car on. Like,
I definitely would have way overcomplicated this design had I gone with what was in my head. And he brought up a really good point, just bolting this to the car. Look how thin and flimsy that is.
Even though this empty shell probably weighs less than 1,000 pounds right now and the bulk of the weight is in the rear, I don't want these casters to rip off in some weird scenario unloading it out of a trailer if something were to go wrong.
While I do have a welder, it's a TIG welder, and trying to TIG weld that, considering I'm not a professional welder, would have been half of a day, so.
Unfortunately though, the small portable welder Charlie brought with him that he's had since high school is a bit on the fritz and is in need of some TLC.
I mean, it's pretty close to the height the car will be. Yeah, that'll work. That's good. I don't trust it until I put longer bolts in there, but...
However, I've already discovered I need a version 2.0 of this caster situation.
I realized at the last minute that the mounting location of those casters on the CRX is probably not optimal because that's designed for the TC rods, not to have that much kind of movement back and forth. So luckily I have an extra transmission crossmember for that thing still.
There, version 2.0 is way better. Now it'll be bolted in 2 locations per side and it's just much more rigid. A lot of you have been asking for an update on this rig right here. So, there's a new ute bed that's going to be going on the back of it. And that is a 99.999% assembled engine bay.
Interior is almost all assembled.
What else left to do to it?
there's a few random wires I gotta clean up under the hood. I just want to route them better and like loom them up. And then I gotta mount the shifter boot because this is out of an 08 truck instead of an 05 truck. And then I gotta put the bed on. That's it. It's done. Oh, put my drive shaft in, yeah.
And it runs and drives.
Well, it's technically drivable, but only in front-wheel drive since you don't have a drive shaft, right?
Yeah, it's a front-wheel drive F350 at the moment.
So there you go. There's your update on the Super Ute. It's almost done. It's almost ready to be a vehicle again. The next video you see on the CRX is the final paint. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye.